Alrighty, welcome back to the Starting Five podcast. Today we've got a great guest, someone who's been a key piece behind the scenes of one of the college football's top programs. We're joined by former Clemson Tigers football long snapper Holden Caspersen. Holden joined Clemson as a walk-on in 2021 and went on to build an incredibly consistent and reliable career, appearing in 56 games from 2021 to 2025. Over the years, he earned a reputation as one of the most dependable long snappers in the ACC, even receiving all ACC recognition from Phil Steele and praise from head coach Dabo Swinney for his precision, especially his ability to consistently place the laces out for holders on kicks. He worked his way from a redshirt freshman appearing in just a couple games to becoming Clemson's primary long snapper, playing in every game his final seasons and contributing in big moments, including snapping on a game-winning 56-yard field goal in the ACC championship. From earning a starting role to being part of a clutch special teams plays in huge games. Holden's journey is a perfect example of development, consistency, and doing the little things right at a high level. Holden, thank you for joining our podcast today. We are really excited to have you on.
Excited to be here.
All right, Holden, thanks for joining us. Starting off, can you walk us through your football journey and describe the moment when you realized you wanted to play at the collegiate level?
Yeah, I think it comes back to I was in seventh grade and I guess I was 12, whatever I was. And one of my really close family friends came to me and he was like, "You want to play college football?" And I'm like, "Well, duh, like I'm 12. Of course I do." And he's like, "You need to learn how to long snap." So at that moment, I was kind of like, I'm never going to be this big old dude. I'm never going to be the fastest dude out there. I need to do something to get out there. So really that moment, I kind of like put my mind to it. Like this is my ticket to get to college. And I trained all throughout high school, went all over the country for camps, went all over for showcases, and really just put my mind to it. And you're not really guaranteed anything. You never know what's going to come. But and then COVID hit my senior year, and that was like it ruined me because like a lot of snappers got to go to in-person camp. So I was like in this like not dark place, but like a low place where like end of my senior year, I only had a couple offers, nowhere I really wanted, and then I got a call into January, and it was Clemson calling. They offered me a chance to walk onto the team, and this was my dream school where I wanted to be at, and committed 15 minutes later. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
That's awesome. What ultimately made you choose Clemson, like going through the recruitment process and everything?
Yeah, so funny enough, both my parents graduated from Georgia, so I grew up diehard Georgia fan. But I took visits my junior year before COVID hit and visited Georgia, visited here, and once I like got here, like set foot on campus, I mean it's cheesy to say, but like I felt something different here, and I'm like everything like I wanted. I couldn't really explain it. I'm like, this is where I needed to be. This is where I wanted to be at, and I mainly what Coach Sweeney's built as the culture here, just how much he pours into us, how much he like cares about us as people, not just like a number to him. It really stuck out to me, and then like his faith and his foundation of like Christianity also was something that really appealed to me as well.
Holden, you said you came in as a walk-on for Clemson and explained how you worked your way into a starting role. What kept you motivated during those early years when playing time wasn't necessarily guaranteed?
Yeah, I think I knew there was going to be opportunity down the line. I didn't know when the opportunity was going to come, but I knew it was, and I always like focus on controlling the things I could control, and that's the work I put in, the effort I put in, what I'm doing off the field, and I just really focused on that because I knew there was some time down the line there was going to be that, and I didn't want the opportunity to come and I miss it, and then I look back with a bunch of regret. So that's kind of what I was focusing on.
Absolutely. Can you describe the most challenging moment you faced at Clemson and walk us through what happened and how you worked your way through it?
Yeah, I think it would come to the 2023 season. So we had two snappers my whole career here. We split the role, and I would say in 2023, 2022, I started the whole year just doing punts, and coming into that season, I wanted to do both punts and field goals. And um, a fall camp came around. I ended up doing both, all of fall camp, field goals and punts. And then it was Monday before the Duke week, and my coach called me in. He was like, "Hey, you're only going to do field goals now," which is a complete opposite of what I did the year prior. And I was obviously very disappointed. Told him I was kind of really disappointed, and I was like, but if whatever's best for the team, that's what it'll take. And that season, being a part of a field goal is honestly being a part of something way bigger than what I could imagine because we had a kicker. Well, he struggled early on kicking and missed a bunch of kicks with a young kicker, and then we actually called up one of our old teammates off the. He was living in Charleston at the time, about to move to New York, take a job, and he found out Coach Sweeney found out he had eligibility, and I got to be. He came back onto the team, and the way he finished the season, we had three huge kicks against South Carolina, three in the bowl game, and he was like a crucial part of our season, and I got to be a part of that. He was voted a captain, so I got to be a part of something way bigger than me. Which at the time back in fall camp, I was so mad I'm not doing both, but ended up being way more special than I could imagine.
Wow, that was so motivating. I want to go play football now. Um, now kind of like moving into specific things about your position. So obviously what you do is super, super specialized. Like there's a lot of little things that go in behind the scenes that a lot of fans don't really understand kind of about your craft. Do you have anything specific like that you work on when it comes to consistency and pressure? Like how do you maintain that standard?
Yeah, I think the main thing I always did for like pressure situations is like nights before the games, week leading up. I did a lot of like visualization stuff, like visualizing me going out there making a play. And I mean, because I may only get 5 snaps in a game, but if I mess up one of them, everyone's going to know my name and come at me or whatever. But I visualized me making all the snaps, making all the plays when the time come. But a lot of the technique side of it was really like, I got like on field goal, it's so precise. You need to have laces out, and because it makes the operation smoother. Kicker doesn't get in his head if he sees laces. It's a whole ordeal. But I spent a lot of time with our holder Clay and gave him. So we did countless reps, just making sure every snap was the same, making sure everything's the same, and a lot of technique stuff like slow motion snaps, slow motion hand releases, just really trying to perfect everything.
Do you kind of feel like you need to be the calm for the kicker? Like you just have to maintain like you're cool so they don't freak out?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely. Like you go out in the games and the kicker's kind of the spotlight, rightfully so. I mean, he has a pressure situation, and I just want to make his job as easy as it possibly could be because he already has enough pressure on him to go out and. I mean, his is just like me. If he goes out and makes it, everyone loves him. He misses it, everyone hates him. Like there's no in between. So I try to be as calm, and I want his job to be as easy as it possibly could be.
For sure.
While we're on the topic of mindsets, you are part of some huge moments, including the game-winning field goal in the ACC championship game. So, kind of what was going through your head right before that kick, kind of knowing what was at stake?
Yeah, I was. So they scored the touchdown, and I'm on the bench all pissed off, angry, whatever. I was like, "Ah, here we go again." And Clay Sweeney comes up to me, and goes, "Hey, get ready, we're about to kick this." And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "There's 10 seconds. No, we're not." Like, come on. And then obviously Adam Randall gets the kick return midfield. I'm like, "Oh crap, we have a shot." So we start warming up, and I remember one of my teammates comes up and goes, "Hey, how far do we get?" And I'm like so locked in. I yell at him, "Get away. I don't know. Leave me be." Probably overreacted a little bit. But then we get in field goal range and they kind of just look at us like, "Hey, we're kicking it." And I'm like, "All right, here we go." And I kind of just like, honestly, I was so calm and ready for the moment. Because honestly, the week before we were about to have another game tying kick against South Carolina, and I was ready for that. And so I was felt like I felt like something was going to happen. So I was like, "All right, let's get ready." And I was really calm. And then we go out there and we sap it, kick it, and I'm like covering. If you go look at the clip, Coach Sweeney told us to cover it, but I'm the only one covering, so I look like an idiot running in the middle of the field. See it go in, turn around, and I see the whole team run on the field, and I honestly black out. I don't really remember much after. I just remember I was in the other end zone, laying on the ground, and like everyone's like, yeah, that was definitely a one of my favorite. I mean, definitely the favorite moment of my career.
No, absolutely. And you kind of touched upon about with your job, you might only get a few snaps a game, so kind of that need that every snap to be perfect. For you, in order to ensure that consistency, is it more of like a muscle memory thing, or is it more just kind of like a mental toughness walking out the noise?
Definitely muscle memory because I always like told myself like if I got to game day and I was still the guy, like they clearly trust me enough to be out there and I need to be out there. And So clearly, what I did prior to that led me to that, and I really was just perfecting my craft. And like I said, like a lot of the snaps, like I really don't remember. I kind of just like you're so locked in, you don't remember the actual movement of it. So you're really relying on all muscle memory.
Hold on, that's such a cool perspective, and I think like from the fans' perspective, we don't get to see kind of like a player's POV in those high pressure moments. I've had the privilege of working student media and being in press conferences, and Coach Sweeney specifically praised your ability to get the laces out consistently. Can you just walk us through like how much detail and repetition goes into mastering something that specific and precise?
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think it's me and Clay. Like he's obviously the one catching it, so he has a huge role in it. I was like, just catch it the same every time. I'll figure it out. And he just caught it same spot, and like if laces were back, I have to flip the ball in my hands completely and not hold the laces. If it's like a quarter out, I got to flip it a quarter the other way. So you're really looking at like how much the ball's rotating in that 8 yards, and you're like kind of just working back to your grip. So it's like a lot of work, a lot of snaps coming in, a lot of precision and just like repetition really. And I got lucky enough. I've known Clay since he got on campus and I can't even tell you how many snaps we've done together.
Okay, so looking back now that your Clemson career is complete, what are you most proud of? Your personal development, team success, or something else people might not see?
Honestly, it's definitely like obviously we had a lot of success when I was here, a lot of trials, but really the main thing I like took away from being here 5 years, just like the relationships I built with people and like the people I got to do it with every day. I mean, we go through so much as players and so much on a day-to-day basis. You go through so many highs and so many lows and like you're really in it together and you get to see everybody's like true character. And I have like countless and countless relationships of best friends that I'll be friends with for the rest of life. Like some of them have already moved on. I still talk to them almost every single day. Like that's really the biggest thing to me is like the relationships I made and like these people here. I know that everyone says the people make the place, but like that can't be even more true for what Clemson meant to me.
Yeah. Do you have something that Clemson football has taught you that you will carry with you beyond the game?
Yeah, I definitely control what you can control throughout life. I mean, there's so much, and that like took me so long to figure out because I was always a worrier, stressing out about stuff that like I just have absolutely zero control in. And life's gonna come and go, and whatever comes, like control your control. It's like your attitude, what your work you're putting in, and that's really the biggest thing that taught me because football is so much about results, and you're not going to get the results if you're worried about the wrong stuff. So that's definitely what I would say.
Talking about all of the many relationships and experiences you gained while being on the team, who were some teammates that made your Clemson experience special, either on or off the field?
This could be a pretty long list, but I mean, my best friend's Peter Nern. Like I met him on a summer camp, and ever since then, like we were best friends. And he definitely made a huge experience. My roommates, Griffin Batt, Jack Smith. I mean, I've lived with them for 3 years. Did so much life with them. Another couple people, Trent Pierman and Jack Perkerson. Like those are some of my best friends, closest people. I got taught Clay Sweeney's definitely up there of some close people. Trying to think who Brody Kahn's another one. I mean, he's now taken over for me, so it's kind of cool for me to see him step into what I dealt with. So now it's like me giving back almost, but he's still super close to me, always there for me through a lot of tough times and definitely stuff I went through. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there's countless people, and I feel like I'm forgetting some too. Like Ryan Allen, my position coach, he was someone all he didn't come into the team till 2024, but like even in this like short amount of time I got to know him, he's someone I'm going to talk to as a mentor for the rest of my life, and he's given me so much life advice outside of football. So I mean there's countless people I can name. Those are definitely some that come to mind.
Right. Regarding on-field relationships, special team units are usually smaller and more tightly knit. What was the chemistry like between you, the holder, the kicker, and how do you develop trust with those guys?
Yeah, I think so. I was always with Clay. I know I keep talking about him, but he was always there for me. I mean, he was a year younger than me, so I was always with him. So we're super close. And then we got to kick for Jonathan Whites, who came that one season. I briefly mentioned. And then Nolan Hoosier's another person who impacted my life way more than I thought. Like he came in 2024 as a young freshman, and just the joy he brought around people made me want to be around him. So me, Clay, and Nolan spent numerous hours together just hanging out, and like even though we're working perfecting our craft, like I look back at those as like fond memories of like us just chopping, hanging out, whatnot. And those are like you build so much time like going through putting in the work in, and then you look up, you're like, holy crap, these are some of my closest friends I look back on. So
So now I'm kind of getting into like the game day experience. We obviously know that kind of Clemson has a one of a kind game day experience. So, what would you describe from your perspective what a game day is like? And can you kind of walk us through what a typical day looks like for you, kind of from start to finish?
yeah, so definitely I mean we briefly see the fanfare like pregame tailgates and whatnot, but we're out in a hotel and pregame meal, whatnot, go up, shower, get in our suits, and then we come down and get on the buses, and we like drive from Anderson all the way through, and they do a good job driving us through campus, and like we drive through Douthit, then come down around, and you see all these people there, and I remember like this is a brief moment, like it was this season, and I'm like knowing like I only got a couple more home games, and I look to my left, and there's this little kid just like so excited to see the buses, and he had to be like 10 years old in a Clemson jersey, and I was like, that used to be me. Like I remember that feeling, and like that really hit me. I'm like, I only got so many more times to do this, but then you come and you go and do Tiger Walk, and there's thousands of people just wanting to see you. It's like that's why I talk about like the people here is like so special. Like they care about us, and then you go through Tiger Walk, and then you go out pregame, and you put on your and there's like we're in shorts and t-shirts basically warming up, and there's still so many people there just ready to see you do what you put so much into. It's definitely like inspiring to like I got like all these people drove and gave thousands of dollars just to come see us play every weekend. Like I'd be a fool not to give it my all on a Saturday. So like seeing that, it's like I would do that, and then come in, throw your pads on, quick warm up, and then you obviously get on the buses, go around the hill, and there's just so like I keep saying it, but there's so many fans just like freaking out. Like you get to see you, and like that's why it was so cool to like see that, and then going down the hill, that's always like I took in like 2 seconds, just look around, like smell the roses for a second before locking in for the game, and you get to see it just taking the environment, get what we get to do and like blessed to do every day, and run down the hill, and then it's go time, and you're kind of locked in, and then it's as the game unfolds you see what happens and whatnot. But yeah, I mean surreal experience even leading up to games.
Yeah. I feel like you've already touched on it a little bit, but what does being part of Clemson football mean to you now looking back?
I mean it's given me so much. I feel like I can never repay the debt like I got from this place and from the football program, the countless meetings, like looking back, like, oh, I don't want to go to another Coach Sweeney meeting, but there's so much life lessons in that. And I guess I feel like I could never repay what this university and what this football program was able to provide me in my life. Like I'm moving on to my next chapter, and I feel so well equipped to dominate and go succeed that next phase because of what I was able to experience at Clemson.
Yeah. Holden, I think we can all say that was the best podcast episode we've had. Your answers were so insightful and personal, and we honestly cannot thank you enough for giving us some of your time because I know you got a lot going on.
Absolutely. Well,
But
appreciate y'all having me on. It meant a
Thank
lot
you
to
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
you're free to go, but thank you so much. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all. This was awesome.
Of course. Bye, Holden.
Y'all.
Bye.
What did he say that like stuck out to y'all?
I think the moment when he was talking about the kid, like when he was like on the bus, that was like such like a cool moment, like full circle for him. Like that was so
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he started talking about like all the game day stuff, like the pregame and like how he had to take a moment to like look around, like it really is because Clemson game day is such like a unique experience and you don't even realize till you're like in it. And
Literally.
you genuinely have to like stop yourself and be like take it all in. Otherwise you'll miss it.
I thought it was kind of funny how he would talk about like all the work they would do sometimes would get like exhausting. Like you don't want to go to that meeting. And like I'm in the football facility all the time. So I see these guys, they're just like tired and beat down. And then like it's game day and they realize like they're one in a million living every kid's dream. and like every old dad's dream. So like hearing him say like it's just so surreal when he has those moments, like I got chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I feel like him saying too, like him seeing like all the fans and all the people that come down and spend like a bunch of money to come see these guys play, like you have to give it your all. And I thought that was a really I liked that answer to that question.
I agree.
I
Did you
also
also
think,
see? Oh, go ahead, Claire.
sorry. I also just think in the day and age that we're at where so many people are choosing places because of money and status and media attention and all the things, I think it's really cool to see like the culture here at Clemson, and obviously Holden kind of accredited to it, but he was like, this place is special. And beyond my years, like he was like, I always knew football was going to end one day, but I know that I'm equipped to dominate anything I'm going to do in the future. And I always remember in press conferences, Dabo always was like, I want to do a study on this specific class of seniors because I know that they will just dominate life. He said that multiple times this season, regardless of the record that we had this past year. But I think it's just special that more than, like Holden said, like more than a number, like Clemson in the program and Dabo really cares about these men, like men as young men, and like really trying to develop them for the real world.
Mhm. I think there's something to be said about the power of a walk-on. Like their attitudes are always like on 10 all the time. Just so happy to be there, so grateful because obviously you see these guys who have been 5 stars their whole life. Like they get shown around with all the gear at every ACC, SEC school. So like obviously they're still pretty appreciative to be here, but like they knew they were going to be here, you know? Whereas like Holden was saying he didn't know, like he didn't have any schools that he really wanted to go to. And then he got his dream offer from Clemson, and every single day was like surreal for him. And you can just tell how like grateful he is to be here because it wasn't promised, you know?
Mhm.
I think the one thing that was like kind of interesting to me is I think like for us, like looking at a football team, especially when they don't have like a season that like we would have wanted, like to get caught up in the wins and losses, but then like hearing from him, like what he took from that past season, like outside of football, like the relationships that he made, the lessons that he learned about things that had pertain nothing to the sport, I think is a good reminder of like we all love sports for like a lot of different reasons, and it's not just about like getting the win. There's so much more to like the culture and the community that like sports and Clemson football provides that makes it so much more valuable than just like getting a win on the field.
Yeah. I think going off of that, like a lot of things get kind of clouded by the media. And, you know, the headline of is Clemson ever going to be back where it was, all the things. But I think hearing from Holden, we see like what really is behind the scenes and more than just like the record and the scoreboard. So I think that it's pretty meaningful that like these young men are really like being prepared for the real world because football isn't going to last forever for all of them.
Sure. And it just goes back to like Coach Sweeney's program of like all in, on and off the field. And like in the indoor facility, there's this massive sign that says how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think like Holden's a great example of that. Like the little things you do in life on the field translate even more importance off the field. And like those relationships, your attitude, like willing to work and like start from the bottom. Because I know Holden was telling me the other day, like he's hoping to get picked up on like a team to go pro, but if that weren't happening, like he's already making those connections to get a job and like have a career, you know, because like Coach Sweeney really does a good job making sure they're all involved in Paw Journey and like actually knowing how to work if it ever they have to, you know?
Mhm.
I wonder like how they don't get in their head of like all the Clemson crazy fans and people online being
Mm-hmm.
like, Clemson sucks. These guys like don't care. They don't try. They don't practice. Like, and if that were me, that would probably get in my head. Like, you're spending all this time putting in all this work, and then the media is just like dogging on you when they're not even doing anything but complaining. So for him, especially because his position has so much pressure on it to like get that one snap perfect, I wonder if like he ever has issues with like that stuff getting in his head, you know?
And I
Mhm.
also think it's like a lot of people like watch football games and they think like, oh, I could do that. Especially when it comes to like kicking and snapping. I think for them it seems so easy. So when like something like doesn't happen right, or like how do you even mess it up? It seems so simple. So him like kind of talking about like how like moving the ball like a quarter of an inch, like I never even realized like kind of how like complex like that small task really is and how much practice really goes into it. So I think it's really cool to kind of get a look behind the scenes. Like this really isn't as easy as everyone thinks it is. So it's like these guys are dealing with a lot to kind of like give them a break that they're on the field for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was really like refreshing to hear that he was able to separate like the perspective of the pressure from like his own reputation when he's playing versus like playing for the people who came to watch you and like making those people proud versus yeah, playing for his own reputation and doing good in that perspective.
Did you guys ever see that? I think it was Auburn. There's this locker room video that like went viral a couple years ago, and his players were just kind of having a bad attitude, and like the head coach went on this crazy rant, and he was like, "There is a family who's been saving all year to take their kids, sitting in the nosebleeds. Y'all better go on this field and give it all you got." And like it makes me cry every time. So that's kind of what Holden was saying. Like you don't know these people's situations, what it took for them to get here. They could have driven across the country, you know? So just for him to like feel that sense of like pride in his school that people would do all of that to come see him. Like, I can't imagine how that feels.
Yeah, I think it also just reiterates like I have respect for guys like Holden who like they aren't entitled. They don't think they're like they own like are owed anything, but they simply are just doing this and looking at it as a privilege and a blessing. And I think especially where we see players switching up for money and not being loyal to their team, I think that it stands out to me as a fan and it makes me want to like root for these guys in the real world and like whatever they want to do moving past Clemson football or on to the NFL.
I agree completely.
Yeah, he's a really easy guy to root for,
Mm-hmm.
and like a
Yes.
small interaction that we just had.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for watching the Starting Five podcast all semester. We hope you enjoyed.
Bye.